Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. I'm Debbie Georgiani, and this is your show. We ask the questions. You respond in such a wonderful way with your lived experiences, and we learn and grow together. In this brief hour, we get to spend with one another, and that's how Take Two rolls. And so we expect the Take Two family to show up in a big way, and you don't have to be Catholic to call in. If you're listening, you are part of the family. So here's the question today. Have you received an organ transplant? Have you received an organ transplant? This topic was inspired by a call that we received a while back, and we made a note of it, or I should say our wonderful producer, Michael, made a note of it, and we put it on the calendar. And so we're asking the question today, have you received an organ transplant? Now, we cover things from all angles, so if you're an organ donor, you please call in as well. We want to cover all the different areas of this particular topic, so we can absolutely have a robust discussion. So we do need, or maybe you know somebody who received a transplant, and how are they doing? We'd like to know some of the details of that. I did bring out the prayer book if you'd like us to pray for anyone who's maybe on the waiting list for a transplant. So there's lots of different ways we can unpack this topic, but we think it's an important one, and one we wanted to share with the lay faithful. So go ahead, you guys. This is your show. We've got Matt on the phones ready to answer your call at 833-288 EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. I'm waving to everybody on social media, YouTube, Facebook, all the other socials going strong. Thanks, you guys. I'm glad to be back on video, and I love watching the chats. I get to check them when we go on break. I look real quickly to see what you guys are all talking about, which is wonderful. I love the side conversations as well. But the question today is, have you received an organ transplant, or do you know somebody who received, was on the waiting list and received something that they needed from somebody else? Remember, somebody else has to really give that gift, give that sacrifice, sometimes with their lives, in order for others to live. So this is really very Christian. It's very biblical. There's ways we can look at this. Some people have some objections to it, and if you do, please call in. So the number is 833-288-EWTN. Again, 833-288-3986. Please don't wait till the last minute to call in. Sometimes this has been happening, I think, just recently. I don't know if it's everybody's just in that, pre-spring mode, but you kind of are waiting till the last minute. And that really makes me a little bit bummed out because I can't get to everybody. So I'd like to keep the conversation going and with a nice rhythm, with a nice pace. So we do need our early, those are the leaders to set the pace with this conversation and to call in early. And the rest, as you feel prompted by the Spirit, you call in and you'll speak to Matt. He'll chat with you for a few minutes. You'll get to, you'll be put on hold, then you get to listen live and you'll slip right into the discussion. So again, we're very friendly. We've got Matt on the phones. We've got Rich on social media. I'm waving to you folks again. Absolutely. And our wonderful producer, Michael McCall, is at the controls. Hopefully you can hear me in a crystal clear manner, loud and clear. And so this way we can get some solid catechesis out there to the world with your takes, with your lived experiences. So have you received an organ transplant, or do you know someone who has, and how did that work out for them? What was the experience like? How was the medical staff? All sorts of things. We don't really want to be nosy about your personal situation. We want to know the details so it can help other souls today. Because there's people on the waiting list right now, and maybe they've got a lot of fears, a lot of anxiety, things that they don't know what to expect, and maybe you can calm those fears today. So please, if you do feel that little nudge in your spirit, we do believe it's the Holy Spirit. We really ask you to say yes. And if you say yes, we have a wonderful show. If you say no, or you sit it out, or you think somebody else is going to call in for you, I mean, we can carry the show. That's not the problem. The problem is if you don't show, it's a missing piece. And the body of Christ works well when we all participate. We serve a God that loves us to cooperate and participate. So say yes and call in at 833-288-3986. And maybe you have a problem with organ donation. You know, you've heard some of those horror stories that are on TV and some of the movies that were made about it and things like that. You know, let's talk about that as well. I have my thoughts on it. It's an interesting, very interesting topic. But I really want to hear from folks that have been a recipient of an organ from someone else, and how did that really work out? Now, if you heart transplants, very interesting. The heart is an organ, but it's made has the cardiac muscle, okay, which is the central part of the heart, and it's very interesting because they say that there's a lot of muscle memory with that, and so some people who have received heart transplants have actually started to adopt some of the personality traits of the person that gave the organ, the donation, the one that donated the organ. It's very interesting. And so this can take on all different levels, many different areas we can go into, but I'm willing to go with you as long as you call in. Okay. Otherwise you're going to hear me talk about it all day long. 833-288-3986. Well, not all day long, just for an hour, and then on the encore as well. Well, a little bit of housekeeping I just wanted to share with our wonderful listeners. Please go to Jerry and Debbie Facebook page. Michael posted an article from CNA today. It was very interesting. If Catholics can go to same-sex ceremonies, I think it's titled same-sex marriage or something of that nature, but same-sex unions, and if Catholics can, in good conscience, go to these different events. It's a very good article. I think they handled it in a very precise way, with a lot of clarity and a lot of just a lot of charity. So it's at Jerry and Debbie Facebook page. Okay. So Michael posted it this morning. He's such a great producer. He gets everything ahead of time because he knows how you, the Take Two family, love to stay up to speed, up to date. And so we aim to please. Have you received an organ transplant? That's the question we're asking today. It was prompted by a previous caller we had on a show a while back. And so we want to continue the conversation. Number is 833-288 EWTN, 833-288-3986. Jerry is back tomorrow. He's back on a regular basis, on a weekly basis, for a couple days every week. He's in seminary preparing in formation for the priesthood in a couple years. So we are traveling with him, and we love that. And he's able to be with us on a regular basis again. So it's always fun to have him back, because that's the name of the show, Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. And you're the key person, so call in.
Do you Roku? Roku is a small black box that allows you to instantly stream EWTN to your TV. All you need is a high-speed internet connection, a TV, and the Roku player. For more, visit EWTN.com/Roku.
With news from EWTN's Vatican Bureau, you can watch all of the important events from Rome, even if you don't have TV access. Using the latest technology, we've made it possible to watch the latest news from the Holy See, all delivered directly to your home via live streams. Watch live on EWTN's YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X.
Hello, this is Father Robert Spitzer. We're talking about faith, reason, and virtue on Father Spitzer's Universe, Saturday night at 11 o'clock Eastern on EWTN Radio.
EWTN Radio is growing. Are you an experienced radio producer looking for an opportunity to help forward Mother Angelica's mission of evangelization? We need a passionate, multi-skilled, talented professional who can manage all aspects of producing world-class radio programming. You could be the newest member of the EWTN radio family. If this is you or someone you know, email a resume and cover letter, including salary requirements, to EWTN.com/employment.
Celebrating the precious gift of life. This is EWTN Radio.
Have you received an organ transplant? That's the question we're asking today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. And so if you can weigh in on this topic, that would be great. 833-288-EWTN. Again, 833-288-3986. No surprise, we have full phone lines, but we have a back waiting area. So keep calling, you guys. We can take a ton of calls. So just keep calling, and we'll try to get to everybody. I'll move quickly. Dolores is going to be up first. Dolores, don't go anywhere. I want to share this with our listeners. Excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather. The weather is changing here in Arizona again. We go from hot to cold, and so I can't keep up with it. So Kids Faith Adventures. Get your children and grandchildren together. Class is in session. EWTN Kids Faith Adventures features a variety of faith-filled television programs for children of all ages, including Cat Chat, The Friar, Children's Rosary, Tompkin and Blaze, Masterpiece Donut Shop, and more. I love that. Visit EWTN.com/kids for more. Okay. Oh, I love that. Visit EWTN.com/kids for more. Okay. So that's how you find it. And I love all the kids programs. Cat Chat, I love. Okay. So let's get to Dolores. Dolores is up first as promised from Bryan, Ohio on our friends at Annunciation Radio. Hi, Dolores. Thanks for joining us on this program.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi. Go right ahead.
Yes, I'd like to say I love your show.
Thank you.
I hear it several times a week. Today, I was ready to walk out the door. I had my coat on, meeting some friends for lunch, and I heard this, and I had to call. So I took my coat off and called, and I wanted to share that my son, he's from Mansfield, Ohio. He had a double lung transplant on May the 5th last year.
Oh, my goodness. So wait a minute. You'll have to give us the details. So your son had a double lung transplant.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us, how long was he on the waiting list? How old is he and how is he doing?
He is 66 years old. He is doing great. I just saw him 2 weeks ago, Sunday. We had a very belated Christmas gathering just because, the travel. He's about 3 hours from the rest of our family, but we made the plans, we did it, and he's doing great. He, about 3 years before he was put on the list, he had some issues, thought it was his heart. It was not. He was told to see a pulmonologist. He did that. They worked with him for a year or more before they even knew what was going on, but they did find out he had an autoimmune disease, which was making his lungs hard. But they tried various infusions and finally decided he qualified to be a transplant on the transplant list. He was only on the list for I think about 6 months when he got the call.
So did he know
11 o'clock at night?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Did he know?
Was he aware of the person that donated the
He was
the
not.
He was
that
not.
That family did not want to disclose any information about him.
Oh, okay.
About the recipient. Yeah.
Now
the donor.
The donor. Now, has your son? I mean, has he rejected any part of it, or has his body just? He's done okay.
No.
So he's doing really well.
He goes in. Yes, he checks in at Cleveland Clinic. They have him come like once a month. Mm-hmm. He did have one setback. He did have pneumonia and was in for about a week. And he was in another time they had to insert a stent because something was like where the connection was made. There was something that wasn't quite right. They put a stent in and took care of that. And yeah, he was in a almost 12-hour surgery when he had the.
Mm-hmm. And then he was. I had to be in ICU for a while, correct?
He was there for 1 month. Well,
That's
he wasn't in ICU the entire month, but he was at the clinic for 1 month. Yeah.
I hear that Cleveland Clinic.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I hear that Cleveland Clinic is amazing. So it sounds like he was had some really good care.
Mm-hmm. He can't say enough about it. He's just sings their praises all the time.
Wow. So then you would say it was a great experience and it was life-saving for your son. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's always been an organ donor. Most of my family are organ donors. And, I know there are a lot, like you said earlier, there's a lot of bad talk going on out there about it. Mm-hmm. But I truly believe, it's a miracle.
Wow. So you use the word, it's a miracle. Now I have the prayer book out, Dolores, and you listen to the show quite often. I mean,
I do.
Yes. Do you want to add your son's first name so we can continue to pray for his good health?
His name is Todd.
Todd. Okay, we got it. And I put you in the book too. You're such a great mom. I have to tell you, when you said your son is 66, I'm thinking, man, you must have had him at a very young age because you sound young yourself.
Well, I will say he is my stepson, but he's not. We don't say that word.
Okay, gotcha.
But I have to say that because of the difference in our ages, but because his father was older when I married him, and then I inherited 3 sons when we got married. So
gotcha.
He was the middle one, and he's been a great son.
That's awesome. Well, you sound like a great mom. Thank you so much for the kind words, and thank you for sharing the story and getting us started. That's amazing, and I loved how you used the word miracle, so that was beautiful. Dolores, now you can go to lunch. You said you're going to go meet a friend for lunch, so go have fun. Order something for me, okay?
All right, great.
All right.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. We're going to move to Brian in Connecticut on Sirius XM 130. Hi, Brian. Thanks for waiting and welcome.
Hi, Debbie. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. So I'm doing well. So Brian, I'm looking at the comment here. So this is fascinating. So you're a living organ donor.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us, who did you donate to, and can you share any details?
Sure. Yeah. So a few years ago, I started to discern becoming a living organ donor, and I'm not really sure why, but I think that God put it on my heart to do so. And as I, learned more about it, I realized that there's about 16 people that die in the country every day waiting on a list to become a recipient. So I put my name in, and they found somebody who was a match. I'm what they call a non-directed donor. So they wouldn't give me any information other than a first initial, so I could actually pray for that person. So the first initial we knew was K, and then it was actually I donated on August 15th, the Assumption of our Blessed Mother, and so next week or this week is going to be my 6-month anniversary from donation there.
Wow.
And afterwards, I did get a letter from my recipient, and it turns out her name is Katie, and she's a 32-year-old nurse.
Oh.
And she was in the process. They were considering to start a family, and she came down with these symptoms, this disease that required her to need a liver. Mm-hmm. And so she was the one who got my liver. So I donated 63% of my liver to her. And in about 4 weeks, I was fully regenerated.
Okay, that is amazing. I just learned that last year, that the liver regenerates, and it's just an amazing organ. And so you must have had such a healthy liver to begin with for that to come back so quickly.
So that's what they say, yes. And it's interesting. I mean, there's no question. So when my mom was alive, she used to say, the Lord works in mysterious ways. So much of my life, I was actually obese. And at some point about 10 years ago, I decided that was enough of it. Mm-hmm. And so I started to train for long distance triathlon and got to the point where I was very physically fit. And when they started to do the testing for my liver, just like every marker came back excellent. And
okay, that's amazing.
Yeah. So it was just awesome.
And Brian, go back to this, because what a beautiful gift you gave her. Her name is Katie, right? Is Katie the only one you've given to so far?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, but you're still but can you give more? How many times can you donate?
So here's the thing. So one of the things about the liver, so the liver is the only functional human organ that can regenerate.
Right.
But that being said, is that you can only donate your liver once, because
That's
what happens is we have 2 lobes, a small and large lobe,
right,
and you give one or the other depending on the size of your recipient. So I gave the larger lobe, and what happens is, even though I regenerate to 100% and I have full function, now I have one large liver as opposed to 2 lobes. So I'm not able to donate in the future.
Okay, but it hasn't compromised the way you function in life, has it?
No. So in fact, so I periodically I would check in with my team. There's a whole team that was assigned to me as the donor, and so we would have we had in person checkups, and then now we're on Zoom checkups. Okay. And every time I would ask them, hey, is it okay if I there were some limitations put on me. So at first I couldn't lift more than 10 pounds, and I couldn't go back to work right away and things like that. But it's just so amazing how everything fell into place. And so, again, whereas the way that I got to the point where I was healthy enough to become a living organ donor was doing what they call ultra-distance triathlons. And so I signed up for my first, since my donation, I'll be doing one in Maine in July.
Wow.
Just after a year.
Yeah, you're amazing. You are so amazing. I mean, another miracle here, Brian. This is incredible. Now, I don't know if I missed this. Do you keep in touch with Katie?
So it's kind of interesting. So one of the things that they do, they're very, very thorough when they do organ donation. One is they want to make sure that everybody's going to be healthy and whatnot. So, and then they ask lots of questions. So on my team, there was a social worker and a psychologist. And so one of the questions that they ask many times in the whole process is, would you want to meet your recipient?
Right.
And would it be okay if your recipient said that they did not want to meet you? And so my answer was yes, I would be absolutely, happy to meet the recipient. And then the answer is no, I would not be, upset. In other words, I don't feel like I did the donation, kind of like looking for something back, or I wouldn't have any
expectation or
expectations.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, but then I did get I got a nice ornament, a Christmas tree ornament from Katie, and it says, excuse me a second, because I still get kind of choked up. But,
I know, I'm getting emotional too. Yeah, go ahead.
It said Brian and Katie, liver buddies, and the date of the donation.
Wow. Okay.
And,
I'm losing it now. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So and it was expected that we would meet by now, and I don't know why we haven't. But I just put it in God's hands, and I say, you know what? If she reaches out, she knows that I want to meet her, and if she decides that she wants to meet, then that's great. And if she doesn't, then that's okay.
Right. Oh, Brian, that's amazing. I love how you said God put it on your heart to do this, and you just gave her just a tremendous gift. And that is so cool. You'll have to call back when you two actually do meet in person, just to maybe share some of the updates. We'd love to hear that if you can do that, sir. Okay?
I would definitely do that. And if I can leave you with one more thing.
Sure.
So one is, yes, if you could put, because I don't know, the road to recovery for the donor typically is much easier than the recipient. Mm-hmm. So I don't know her health at this point. So I would like to put her name in your prayer book. But also, when I was in the hospital, they asked me if I would consider doing an interview on the local television station with another woman who was in need of a liver. Mm-hmm. And I did. And her name is Amanda, and she still has not found a liver.
Oh, okay.
So I check in with Amanda periodically and check and see. And there's a bunch of people who are on the list, but finding a match, just so that you know as well, is finding a match for a liver is like a needle in a haystack because you've got to be the right blood type, but there's a lot of markers. And then there's also whether the veins and the hepatic valve connect and things like that. Mm-hmm. So there's so many things. And so that's why one of the things I did after my liver donation, I have a website that I promote I do some things with my church, and I try to drive people to the website because it gives information about the importance of living organ donation. And one of the things that's just so amazing to me too is, Debbie, and I mentioned this when we had we showed a movie based on a true story of a liver transplant, where the woman was the recipient, the man was the donor, and they ended up falling in love and getting married. And when I shared that, when I played that movie at my church, I mentioned basically that. So, here we are. We just celebrated, the birth of Jesus, who came literally to give his body to us And how awesome is it that we are able to share our bodies with other people to give the same life that Jesus gave us.
Wow. Would you do me a favor, Brian? Would you drop me an email with your website address if you can do that? I'd really appreciate it. It's my email is take2@ewtn.com.
Sure, and it's taken as the number 2?
Yeah, that's the easiest way. Take2,
EWTN.com.
Yeah, at EWTN.com. Thank you so much for sharing today. What an amazing journey you've been on and story. And we want to hear more of it and journey with you. And I put everybody in the book, Amanda, Katie, you, and everyone else that's waiting for being on the liver transplant list. So Brian, thank you. You hear the music right there. We're going to take that second break. And then when we come back, more of your calls. Margaret will be up next from Florida. Margaret, don't go anywhere. And the others, you guys are waiting so patiently. Hopefully you can hear the program in just a beautiful way. So just sit back and take in all of these miracle stories today. And we're asking the question, have you received an organ transplant?
Hi, this is Doug Keck, inviting you to join me next time when our guest author will be Steve Mosier. We'll talk to him about his book, The Devil and Communist China, from Mao down to Xi.
The biggest killing spree of all was the one-child policy that ran from 1980 to 2016, because in that campaign, 400 million unborn children were sacrificed.
That's Steve Mosier, a special guest author right here on Bookmark next time.
Saturdays at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, Sundays at 9:30 a.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio.
This is a Messy Family Minute with Mike and Alicia Hernan. We talk a lot in our program about the messiness of life, but we thought we should take a moment to explain why it's important. We live in a broken, fallen world, and we're constantly trying to repair relationships and situations that have become, well, messy.
Why is it so important to recognize this? Because if we deny or ignore this reality, or try to control our situation and make it neat and perfect, we'll only end up frustrating ourselves and making the situation worse.
Family life is never easy. St. John Paul recognized this when he wrote, "There is no family that does not know how selfishness, discord, and tension can wound the family. But every family is called by the God of peace to have the joyous and renewing experience of reconciliation and unity restored."
Families need to embrace the mess, knowing that God is always calling us to reconciliation with Him and our families, and that He will give us the grace we need to get there. For more inspiration, visit us at messyfamilyminute.org.
The EWTN Warriors Rosary is a fitting tribute to all the spiritual warriors who have stood by us over the years. Each rosary is a unique creation. Get your Warriors Rosary today at EWTNRC.com.
Hi, this is Janet Williams. You don't have to be a woman to enjoy Women of Grace tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern here on EWTN Radio. Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Talking about organ donation today on Take Two, and we'll get to Margaret next. Margaret, just hang on for about 20 more seconds, and I just wanted to do just a congratulations and a shout out going out to another great EWTN radio partner. His Mercy Radio, serving Grants Pass, Oregon, is celebrating 10 years with EWTN. Congratulations to Connie Murphy and her team at KJCR from your friends here at EWTN. Okay, Margaret, you're up next from Florida on Divine Mercy Radio. Wow, I hope you're loving these stories, Margaret. They're pretty amazing. So tell us your story. Hello, Margaret. Are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go right ahead. You're on the air.
Well, I have a dear neighbor, and he just told me yesterday, he just came from the hospital from being there several days. The kidney is failing. So he has been waiting for a donor for about 2 years already. So receiving an organ is such an essential issue, because otherwise, those people have a problem that they cannot exist very long. Mm-hmm. So I was very happy that you are discussing this at your program. The previous caller was absolutely amazing. To give your own liver, I think it is just above and beyond, our human nature. So, so that's about. I just simply want you to pray for John.
Yeah. You know, his name is John, Margaret, you said?
Yes.
Okay, we got John. We got John in the book, and I agree with you about Brian's call. I think Brian really got us moved to tears with it, just how beautiful and how he just felt it. It was put upon his heart to do this, and now he has given such a gift to Katie, the recipient of the liver. And I love how he shared that in just a short amount of time, his liver regenerated and came back, and what it does. You said he went above and beyond. You're absolutely right. And when we do that, that's really where we can see God's magnificence. And so, Margaret, I so agree with you. We're going to be praying for John. Please keep us posted on how he is doing. You said it's your neighbor. And so I think you're a beautiful soul for caring so much about your neighbor that you want to put him on a worldwide prayer list. So I think that's wonderful.
He has 2 children. Yes, and the children definitely need him, and so does his wife and his neighbors. So
okay.
Each time I pass his house on my bike, I say, God bless John.
Oh, bless your heart. Okay, well, we've got him in the prayer book. Keep us posted, Margaret. Thank you so much for letting us know that about your neighbor, John. And yeah, he's got kids, so, he's got to be there for them. And we will be praying. We're prayer warriors. I wanted to share that Bob called in from Birmingham, and this is what Bob's story is. Bob said, my mom recently volunteered at the Transplant Olympics because our favorite pastor and family friend, Father Jim Naughton, had a liver transplant and was very active in the community. He spent every Christmas with other transplant patients and was the chaplain for the Transplant Olympics. He was the first priest who came to mind when Pope Francis said a priest should smell like his sheep, and we were blessed to have him for an additional 15 or more years because of a liver donor. Wow. So somebody stepped up, just like Brian did, gave this wonderful priest a liver, and this priest went on to serve the community 15 more years. Is that beautiful? Okay, Alana is up next. Thank you again, Margaret from Florida. Alana's in Bismarck, North Dakota, waiting so patiently on Real Presence Radio. Hi, Alana. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Hi, go right ahead. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I have not received nor do I know any donors, but one of my passions, for lack of a better word, is human trafficking. And I took a course at my school last semester, and one of the sections that was included was the organ trade. Mm-hmm. It's considered a type of human trafficking where brokers will go and find people who are desperately poor in countries like Thailand and places like that, and promise them a lot of money to donate their kidneys, because kidneys are highly, highly in demand all over the world. Right. And people wait for years on the list to receive a transplant. And some people become desperate enough to pay for these organs that are being harvested in Asia and other parts of the world, instead of staying on the list for an altruistic donation. And it's a really, really difficult situation, because these people who need organs are obviously very desperate because they want to live. And the people who are selling them are also incredibly desperate. And so selling organs is illegal, and it can cause a lot of problems with the surgeons harvesting organs and not doing the things that they're supposed to do in surgery to prevent infection and all of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I guess my main reason for calling is just that we absolutely must increase the list of potential donors in order to prevent harm to many people. And it's like the most selfless thing you could possibly do outside of dying for your friend, like Jesus does. And I think there are lots of horror stories out there, and sometimes it seems like the church is even a little bit hesitant about the idea. But in the long run, I pray a lot that things can change, because as positive as we are about the people calling in who have donated or received we do have to consider that dark side of everything because it's something that affects so many people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I'm glad you called in because we always cover topics from every angle, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly. And this is part of the ugliness of this. When you have money that is involved, you're going to have people that are going to exploit, they're going to use, they're going to abuse people in order to get that money. And you see that happening in pretty much every trade that's out there, right? That it can start out very, very beautiful and godlike, how wonderful it is that we're giving to one another, and then the abuses creep in. So you're absolutely right. We have to maintain the integrity. We have to raise awareness. We have to educate others on what exactly it means, and we have to hold people accountable. The medical profession. We have to hold the industry, the businesses that are involved, and the people that are maybe being, walked into this, that they weren't prepared for that. And they are in a desperate situation for money. And so they will do things. They will sell body parts. They will give away things, in order to get money. So Alana, you raise, a really good, angle to this. And again, this is the reason why we have a platform like this, so we can spread the truth. We can really get people to understand what it means, to do the right thing and to do it well and to be pleasing to God. So Alana, I thank you so much for sharing it. And actually, I was going to share a little bit about that, and I'm glad you did because you went through the course. But that's in the research that I did for this particular episode. That's what I had read too. So any final comments?
My final comment would be kind of a thank you to you, because when you first started the show, you really encouraged people who felt a nudge to call in, and to listen to the Spirit. And I was one of those people because I really didn't want to make this call. So cool. I encourage you to keep doing that because the Holy Spirit definitely wants you to.
Aw, thank you so much. That totally made my day. And I wasn't even having that great of a day today, but you just made my day. So thank you so much. So I'm going to send the compliment right back to you. So thank you. You were a blessing today. Wow, what a great call. Okay, so we're going to move. We're going to I'm going to go a little bit faster because everybody's waiting so patiently. Let me see. We will go to Joanne next in Massachusetts on the EWTN app. Joanne, tell us your story.
Hi. Well, it wasn't really a memory. Well, I guess it's a memory, but my husband passed away. He had kidney failure. Mm-hmm. And, we prayed that we would find somebody. And our son was a match.
Your son was, okay.
And,
okay, tell us the story. Okay, wait. Let me just start over. So your husband needed a kidney and your son was a match. Okay, go ahead.
Right. So it's his stepson, but he's had him ever since he was born. But anyways, so his name is Frank. And Frank got very sick. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, go right ahead.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Because if it's too loud, let me know and I'll hang up.
No, you're perfect. Don't worry. Go ahead.
Okay. So one day, one of my daughters was living with him in an apartment. He just moved down from Maine, and he was very sick. I think he really knew something was going on and needed help. So when he came, he was 50 years old, and my daughter, when he came, decided, "You're going to the hospital. Something's wrong." And he was white, and he was real sick. So they found out that his kidneys were failing or just about failed. So they put him on dialysis, which he went safely, which was good, easier on the kid. But so our son was desperate to get him the help that he needed. Mm-hmm. And he's such a good kid. He's 45 now, but it was harder on him to donate than to receive. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. But so for years, we all got together we celebrated, his recovery.
Wow.
He had to change his diet and, do the right things. He basically got sick because he did not take care of his, his high blood pressure.
Oh, okay.
Which is a genetic thing in his family, and my kids have adapted it, some of them, but he went to, he went to his doctors, he did everything he had to do, and then when they couldn't find a match, that's when my son wanted to come and give his kidney, but they had to check it out, and finally they found out that they were a match.
Wow.
So they did the operation. And because he took good care of him, he worked hard all his life, but he took care of himself and did what they told him to do.
Sure.
He lived 14 years, which I think the oldest individual, it may have changed now, lived 22 years. So it's possible for that to happen.
So Frank lived 14 years
after
he received the kidney.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was 50 years old.
Wow.
He was 50 years old when he just got really sick.
Oh.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
When you don't have insurance to, see a doctor or whatever, take your medications at that time. But he lived 14 years, and we're so lucky to have him.
Well, Joanne, let me ask you this question. How is your son doing who donated the kidney?
He's good.
He's good.
But he's been to the doctors, and he needs certain medications, and they won't give it to him as a result. But, he'll just have to, get through that on his own. But,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but Joanne, a couple things. I'm sorry for the loss of Frank, but like you said, he was blessed with another 14 years, so that was wonderful. But your son, what an amazing young man. Incredible. Do you feel comfortable giving us his first name? We want to pray for his continued good health.
Oh, thank you. His name is Sean.
Sean, okay.
Yeah, Sean T. Whatever you want to call him.
I have to tell you, you're very blessed to have a beautiful, giving son like that. That's pretty incredible. And so, what a journey you've been on. And I just want to thank you for sharing with us, because I was hoping somebody would call in that had somebody in the family, and you did that. So thank you for that. We're going to let you go there on that, because I have to get to this one announcement that I want to share with our listeners, Joanne. So listen to this. EWTN News in Depth this Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, and it's the birthright citizenship is caught in a legal battle. We'll have expert analysis and personal experiences from a Catholic perspective, and the Order of Love, how U.S. politics put an early church fathers teaching in the spotlight. Okay, the reason why I want to share this is that this is really the buzz is all about this right now. And so you want to check out EWTN News in Depth, and it's Friday night, 8 p.m. So don't forget to do that. Thank you again, Joanne. What a great story. I wish Frank had lived longer, but 14 years, I mean, that is definitely an added gift and blessing. Let's hear what Diana has to say in Littleton, Colorado on Catholic Radio Network. Hi, Diana. Welcome.
Oh, hi, Debbie. How are you?
I'm doing well, Diana. You go right ahead. Tell us the story.
Good. Well, it's my brother that had a liver transplant back on October 11th, 1996, a long time ago. But we were blessed to have him for a little over 17 years.
Wow.
And blessed that my mom and dad didn't have to bury him. And he just, he went, I'm getting a little emotional. He went through a lot before he got the liver, and I think I don't even know all of it, because I think my oldest brother stuff was kind of protecting me from some of it, because we live out of state. So,
wow.
Yeah, after he got that liver transplant, he was doing so well, and him and his wife, Marguerite, and their two boys, Sean and Skylar, they lived life just to the fullest and enjoyed every day. I got a little folder of all this stuff from him, and I just got it out, and it said his favorite Bible verse was, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me," and he believed in the power of prayer, and that's what he taught his wife. And he said even in the most difficult times to never give up hope. That is how he lived, and that is a legacy he has left.
Oh, tell me again, Diana, your brother's first name?
Patrick.
Patrick. Okay. Wow. So Patrick, his scripture verse, he lived by that 17 years. He sounds like he has a beautiful family. He's got you as a sister, and I put everybody in the book, everybody you mentioned, Marguerite, Sean, Skylar.
Thank you.
You know, what's amazing about that is, it's back to what we just heard about Frank, previous caller, living, 14 years. It's so interesting. So when you are given this organ donation, it's not a guarantee that you're going to live to be 100 years old. So folks really need to be at peace with and to understand this gift they have given, and they have been given. And it sounds like your brother Patrick did that. He knew that he could lean on Christ. He knew Christ was his strength, and he was blessed with more years on this earth. So wow, what a story! I see why you're emotional, Diana. I am too. That's a really beautiful story.
Yes, he was 34 when he got the liver transplant, and then he was almost 52. He died 1 month before his 52nd birthday.
Oh, wow.
And then could you put in the book, Debbie, he unfortunately didn't get to see his grandson. He was just born in November, Ronan, Ronan.
Okay. So he's got a grandson.
Hopefully
wow.
he's seeing him from heaven.
Oh yeah. You got to imagine the good Lord's allowing Patrick to see his grandson. Of course, I think so. Of course. I mean, we serve such a beautiful God. So wow, Diana, thank you for sharing the story today of your family. We appreciate it. I'm going to move to Joanna in Bismarck, North Dakota. She's on Real Presence Radio, waiting almost the entire show. Hi, Joanna. Welcome. Joanna just dropped. It might have been an accident. Okay, so Joanna, if you can call back really quickly, I want to squeeze you in before the end of the show. I'm so sorry about that. You dropped off from Bismarck, North Dakota. Let's move to Karen in Denver, Colorado on Catholic Radio Network in the meantime. Hi, Karen. Welcome.
Hi, Karen.
Hi,
Karen. This is Karen.
Hi, Karen. You go right ahead. And just make sure you turn the radio down in the background. Otherwise, you're going to hear me twice. So, Karen, you go right ahead. Tell us your story.
Okay. Well, thank you for doing this show today. It's been beautiful. I came in halfway. My son, Evan, was born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome in Montana 22 years ago. And he went through, he's been through a total of 4 open heart surgeries. But we came here to Aurora, Colorado, to list him for a heart transplant when he was 8. And I'm sorry, he was almost 9. But we ended up on the waiting list for 3.5 years because he was not at a high status. They just knew that when he reached puberty, his vascular system would expand and his heart would fail from all the previous surgeries. So he waited 3.5 years, and when he was 12.5, we got the call, and we had moved our whole family here. We lived in the Ronald McDonald House for 9 months.
Wow.
And he was actually in 5th grade in school when the call came, and we took him to Children's, and we went through a long, rainy night of March 15th, 2015. And I'm sorry, I'm choking up, but Jesus spent the night in the sanctuary there with me and my husband. He stayed with us through the night. Well, Evan almost bled to death. He had so much scar tissue, they could barely get through it all. But he survived the transplant. And when he came out of it, he had a 100% heart block, which is meaning the heart's fighting, it's not beating together. So they, after 9 or 10 days, they put a defibrillator in. And after 6 weeks, miraculously, it was a miracle from God, his heart became back completely 100%. And we were driving home from University Hospital 10 years later. We just had his pacemaker checkup, and they said, he doesn't even use the pacemaker. And we were discussing what a miracle it is. Mm-hmm. But what I also wanted to share with you is that we don't know our donor family. We've never known whether it was a female or male. The hospital was very secretive. Mm-hmm. We got the letter ready several times to put it through Donor Alliance, but different little things came up, and one of the issues was that Evan has autism spectrum disorder, and he was so young that we felt like he couldn't express gratitude in the right way, and we worried about that. Mm-hmm. And so here we are, and the issue of the 10-year anniversary and the family, that I ask everyone out there to pray for this family, because this was their worst horrible thing that's happened to them, and it's been 10 years, and the anniversary is coming up, and they still don't know who we are, but we're out here, and we want to know you. And Evan's a young adult, a wonderful young man now, and he feels ready to give them a hug and express his gratitude in a proper way. And so if they hear this program or someone hears of them, it was March 15th, 2015.
Wow. Well, we also ask the guardian angels, right? Because there's a whole network working on our behalf of the angelic realm, and so we ask the guardian angels. Maybe it can, in your prayers, ask your guardian angels to go to their guardian angels to kind of tap them to see if they can be listening to this broadcast or some other way, so that you can make that connection. I think it's quite beautiful, the story of your beautiful son, Evan, and wow, it's. You got emotional. We got emotional here. It's pretty amazing because your son is a fighter. He's definitely a miracle. I mean, it's pretty extraordinary, his journey. Tell us something about his personality, because I bet you he has something that just lights up people's lives when he comes in contact with them, doesn't he?
He does. Evan is just such a kind and gentle. Right. I should say a gentle giant now. He's 5'11". But wow. Evan is really one of the most fabulous artists that I've ever seen. And his artwork is very unique.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so I knew it. So he had and the reason why I say that, I've read a lot of stories about this. So your son's got an artistic talent and gift. I hope and pray he uses it to the best of his ability. There's God has something very much planned for him to use that gift. I just feel it. I've read so many stories on this, Karen. You probably have too. And so your son is destined to do that. That's going to be his mark in this world, I think.
Thank you. That's so beautiful, because we just came from the Heart Institute up there at University Hospital here in Aurora. And there was one artist. They have tons of artwork. One artist was doing a collage with different things, and one of them included little photographs from angiograms, but mixed with like teapots and birds, and it was really cool. We don't know who that artist was. We couldn't see that name, but Evan said, I want to do this type of thing.
There you go. Evan will be the next one. Then keep us posted. We'd love to see the artwork. So Karen, I'm sorry you hear the music. I just wanted to say again to Joanna, please, Joanna in Bismarck, North Dakota, I'm so sorry. Something must have dropped. You were up next, and I think you had a miracle story. Please call in on Unscripted at the end of this month and share that miracle story. We'll push you to the front of the line. Just tell Matt. Tomorrow is AI a help or a hindrance? Oh, it's going to be a very, very powerful show. We want to talk about that tomorrow. Thank you to the show team. You did a great job. That is Matt and Rich and our producer, Michael. Thank you to the affiliates for carrying the show. Until tomorrow, have a beautiful and blessed day. We'll see you real soon.
Want some more peace in your life? Need some more grace in your day? Want to wake up each morning excited about life again? Life coaching is there